My name is William Hild. I'm the Executive Director of Consumers Research, and I'm so pleased to be joined today by Stephanie Nash, a dairy farmer, Nash Farms, a little bit south of Nashville, Tennessee. And I'm pleased to have her here. One of the areas in which ESG has been focused is been in the cattle industry. Even for example, one of the commitments that the banks have made when they signed on to the Glasgow Financial Alliance for Net Zero was to reduce the consumption of red meat by over 50% using their loan portfolios. So cattle industry has been an area where the ESG movement has really tried to target. They really don't like the cattle industry, the dairy industry. So I'm so pleased to be joined today, Stephanie Nash, to tell us a little bit about that. Stephanie, welcome.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Well, Stephanie, first of all, give us a little bit of background on your family's history of agriculture. Has this been a family farm that's been passed down? Is this a more recent venture?
So, our family originally is from Central California. We moved out of the Central Valley in 2013. We were 85 years old then, and we have been outside of Nashville now for 10 years. So, we're 95 years old. I'm a fourth generation farmer. My role on the dairy farm is our calf and heifer management. So, I make sure everything that is born on our farm is growing to be successful into a milking cow.
May I ask what led to the departure from California into the great state of Tennessee?
So California in general was changing really drastically. My dad at the time was very heavily involved in politics in California, and he saw the shift coming. And so we started looking to exit California not only because of regulations, but water availability and overall climate change factors that were going to come on the dairy industry that most can't afford.
What has been your experience with both the government side of ESG and to the extent you've had any in the financial services side of ESG?
Well, there's a lot to untangle here because not only do I talk about this on a daily basis as an agriculture advocate, but I understand the devastation it has brought, especially on the dairy industry. We have gone from 75,000 dairy farms in 2003 to now under 25,000, we're going to say by the end of the year. And so, not only overall cost of farming has increased, but the ESG has been a big factor on how we can be as producers, how we as farmers or ranchers are able to produce food for America and the world. A big environmental impact for us has been regulations with climate change initiatives, with the Green New Deal. What can we do to create less emissions in the dairy industry? And that creates a lot of money. You know, you see the California dairies, they have implemented digesters. And my concern as a dairy farmer with California and other states that are implementing digesters is eventually the government is going to continue to ask for more. And if you don't know what a digester is, it turns methane into clean energy. And so there's something called carbon credits within that system. And so, in my head, of how strong this Green New Deal has come on to play is the next 5, 10 years, they're going to continue to ask for more carbon credits. And what happens if you don't have any left to give? Are they going to fine you? Are they going to put you out of business?
Can I ask Stephanie? Obviously, you are in the dairy industry, but I would imagine you probably talk to people across the cattle industry. Obviously, I'm sure there's always a frustration with the amount of government intrusion into the industry. Is there a fear now that as Wall Street is increasingly committed to intervening into the micromanagement of your industry, is that something that's worrying your colleagues in the industry?
Oh, absolutely. Not only am I here on the dairy farm, but I advocate across the world. I'm seeing Arizona not only lose dairy farms, but they have a water problem. And a lot of the industry right now is really concerned with not only water, but they are concerned with private landowner rights, and not even just being a farmer and rancher. You, as a private landowner, should be concerned of what the government wants you to do, of what regulations are coming in to you as a private landowner, and ultimately our food supply. We talk all the time as farmers and ranchers, And I get calls weekly from companies that I've never talked to that are concerned of how the ESG is going to impact their generational farms. I know people that are first generation farmers that are just trying to make it. And I know people that are fighting for their eighth generation farm that has been in their family over 200 years. And it's very devastating to hear how ESG is not only impacting and influencing banks now, and what we are going to do for the future of our food, but they are impacting the decisions in Washington, D.C., whether that is trickling down from the EPA, the FDA, the USDA, and there is not enough representation in Washington, D.C. We say this all the time. I am helping with the transition team now of what is working, what is not working, is we need more farmers and ranchers in office. We can't just have 23-year-olds interning for some of these congressmen, representatives, making decisions about our food supply when they don't even know where it's coming from. That's a big thing with me.
Well, Stephanie, thank you so much for joining us today. Please tell our viewers where can they follow you. My understanding is you have a bit of a social media presence. Can they follow you on Twitter or on Facebook?
Yeah, so just under Stephanie Nash, no farms, no food. That's usually where I am. You guys can see interviews of me on national TV or doing interviews with family farmers and ranchers across the United States. I would love you guys to learn more about me and what I do.